Welcome back to America Trends. I'm Dr. Gina. Now, if you are watching on your computer, make absolute sure you didn't get us on your local cable carrier. Go to youtubeamerica.com, enter your zip code, find out where you can find us locally. If we're not there, then let your cable company know that they need the premier social television network in America. All right. 19 Kids and Counting has officially been canceled. TLC announced today that they will have a documentary on sexual abuse that will include the Duggars. And Thomas Schmitz comes to us from his swanky Hollywood crib to give us his take on all of this. Welcome, Thomas. Good to have you back.
Hi, Dr. Gina. How are you doing tonight?
Doing really, really well. Thanks for being with us. All right. So, the 19 Kids and Counting thing, you look at the comparison here, Thomas, of the fact that that show is being canceled and it's being replaced, I think, with a show called Jazzy, which is about a little boy who was sexually transgendered at the age of 2 into a girl. And so it is the life of this little girl. It's interesting to me because you look at just data, just outcomes of people who transgender, like Bruce Jenner has done, and the suicide rate. In fact, Johns Hopkins, as you know, Johns Hopkins University canceled their transgender program because the suicide rate was so high after people did what Bruce has done. And yet you look at the outcome of the Duggars. You have a family who went through a tragedy, not unlike a tragedy that the Kardashian-Jenner family went through. And the outcome of the Duggar family was that their son Josh, who faced, who did some horrible things, no one denies that, their family, their daughters, have come out doing okay, for all we can see anyway. Productive members of society, living happy lives, not really seeing any depression or bad outcomes. And I find it really interesting that instead of canceling the Kardashians, they sprout a new show about Bruce's transition, and they replace the 19 Kids and Counting with a show about a transgendered child. Thomas, I have to have your take on this.
Well, the year of the tranny is continuing, and it's starring Caitlyn Jenner. We've been dealing with these double standards for quite some time here, and in the case of the Duggars, I find this particularly disturbing because a minute ago you mentioned how they were doing okay. So let's ask ourselves, why are they doing okay? And it's because they dealt with it themselves as a family with their church and with their pastor as a personal, private matter, as it should be. This is not a matter of the state or of the school, which is where we're going with this year of the tranny crap. We will soon see legislation to have public schools with tranny sensitivity training and other nonsense like that. We are now presenting all perversions as natural and normal. And if the Democrats really want to talk about pedophilia, then the real heavyweight that they should be talking about is Lena Dunham. Remember when Rush Limbaugh got in trouble for calling Sandra Fluke a slut?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't get in trouble for that because I'm a member of a protected class. So I'll say it here and now because members of protected classes can say and do anything that we want to and not get in trouble for it. Lena Dunham is a pedophile and a slut. She admits in her book called Not That Kind of Girl, apparently she is, she played with her baby sister's pulana. She French kissed her baby sister. She said, quote, anything a sexual predator might do to woo a small urban girl. Lena Dunham is a pedophile and a slut. But because she is a member of the DNC and made that stupid commercial for Obama's re-election saying, oh, voting for Obama is like losing your virginity, they allow this heavyweight, plump little slut to be glorified, and the media treats her like a celebrity, which she is, and gives her money, and she is her perversions and her rape of her little sister is treated as quirky and cute and something that kids do. Well, you know what? It's not. It's filthy. And the difference between her and the Duggars is that she is being celebrated as a role model, while the Duggars, who they were dealt this very less than ideal situation, and they did what normal Americans do. family, which is the nuclear family is the cornerstone of our society. They dealt with it themselves. They went to their church, they went to their pastor, and they solved the issue. And then all of a sudden these private police records were released, and now those two girls, his sisters, are having to relive this trauma again. And then now we've got Caitlyn Jenner, okay, bless her heart, up there in drag with her breast implants and probably going to have her wiener cut off. There she is on stage, and I just want to look for the silver lining in everything. And I think that the silver lining in this is there you have video of what happens when the APA, the American Psychological Association, breaks the Hippocratic Oath. And they did that in DSM-5 when they changed the diagnosis of transsexuals from a disorder to dysphoria. And when they changed it to dysphoria, they're no longer treating the dissociative disorder that always comes with transsexual patients. And because of the non-treatment of the comorbid dissociative disorder, that's why you see the high suicide rates. It's not for any other reason. It's not because of intolerance or all the other crap that the Democrats like to whine about and blame regular, normal Americans for. And so because the APA ignores the dissociative disorder of the transsexuals because they played some little word games. Right. Aren't we getting tired of the word games? This is more that the definition of the is crap that Bill Clinton started. So anyways, we got Bruce Jenner up there in drag with breast implants, and we're supposed to think he's brave. Okay, well, what is he brave for? Having surgery? Well, I think he's brave for exposing what the APA did in DSM-5, which is break the Hippocratic Oath, and shame on them for doing that. Paracelsus, before Hippocrates came along and screwed everything up, Paracelsus understood the relationship between God and medicine. There is a connection. And then Hippocrates came along and said, oh no, God and medicine are separate. Well, I'm beginning to think maybe they're not, because everything that we needed was there for us in the Garden of Eden.
All right, Thomas. I think you were the first guest I've ever had who talked through an entire segment. But I'll tell you what you had to say was good, and I appreciate it. I think the sad part is here that 1 in 3 families are going to face the same tragedy as the Duggars, and they're still not going to have any answers because they've canceled 19 Kids and Counting. We don't get to see what happens after this. We don't get to know how those parents parented through this, even though families across America are facing this. But for sure, we're going to know a lot about transsexualism. Thank you so much for being with us today, Thomas. We'll be back in just a moment. Dr. Rosie Schoen tells us about the latest medical studies. You won't want to miss these.